All right, hello guys, welcome. We're back into another stream. We're going to be doing the top 10 characters I'm looking forward to the most in the Winds of Winter. And this is a pretty tough list. I might have even forgotten somebody that I actually would have included on this as we talk about them. There's just a lot of characters. There's a reason that I'm able to do 25 days of Winds of Winter, and we had basically 2 years worth of doing not repeating characters. So it's a lot of characters. And part of this is going to be like a reflection of what plot lines am I the most interested in. I cheated on number 3. Now, there's only 10 names. Well, there's 10 places, but theoretically one of them is actually 2. So I cheated a little bit. I couldn't decide where I wanted like some of these characters to go. So I cheated on one of them. But for the most part, I kept it as normal as I could. Okay. This was very much heavily inspired because I've just been talking a lot about Winds of Winter with my friend JC. He's going to have a video probably up on his channel within like the next 2 weeks or so. We talked about the Winds of Winter sample chapters, and it just got me thinking. A lot of the videos for this week, next week, even maybe the week after have already been kind of brainstormed, and I've already kind of come up with some ideas based on those. It's kind of reflected also in the poll, which you guys wanted me to talk about either Mira or I don't remember what the other one that did really well was, but I think it was Mira, Theon, more or less because of the pink letter implications, all that kind of stuff. Don't remember what the other one is. That was really well voted, but you'll probably see all those at some point. Matt's one Stannis. Yeah, Stannis is definitely a solid character. He is on this list at some point. Hi Dakota, how are you on this Monday? How's everybody doing? Let me know down in the chat. Also, let me know what characters you're looking forward to. I think there's a lot of characters you could look forward to. I think this list, you could go a number of different ways based on we still have a ton of POV characters left, all that stuff. So we're going to go through this list. I'm going to kind of talk about each plot line as we hit it. It's not going to be just me like, number 10 is this character. All right, moving on. I do want to like dive into each plot line, give my thoughts into like why I enjoy each one of these, or I'm looking forward to each one. I feel like if you know this channel, I've talked about these so much that you're probably going to at least know a good amount of mine. But either way. So before I get into that, Dakota says Walder Frey, obviously. I will say I am really looking forward to the Frey plotline. We're going to talk about it a little bit later with a certain, I think I have two characters with the Frey plotline basically that I'm looking forward to. But I will say with the Walder Frey, the Frey plotline, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on because of how many characters are actually in that plotline right now. Like you have the Freys, of course. They're one of our big, again, not for Dakota, but for a lot of people, they're like our big antagonist of the first 3 books, right? Walder Frey. Kind of crazy, like how, I would say how memorable he is, given the fact that Walder Frey's only in like a handful of chapters. But so yeah, we have that whole plot line. We've got the Lady Stoneheart stuff going on with Brienne and also Jaime. Even the Brotherhood Without Banners, a lot of characters involved in that plot line are fairly interesting. Characters like Gendry, Thoros, for instance. And you've got Arya, who is possibly going to be in that plot line. I heavily believe that she's going to be. A lot of stuff that are interesting there. Now, Matt brings up something that I think leads really well into my number 10. So my number 10, and this is going to be surprising for a lot of people, is actually Bran. So Bran, to me, is a character that I think that he is starting to finally get where he's at his most interesting. I think Bran is a POV that struggles for the first, 5 books. He's only in 4 of them. But he struggles because he's a character that's constantly in the background of the war plot lines that are going on, all of that stuff. And when we get to Bran in book 5, he finally gets interesting, right? He only has 3 chapters in that book, and then we're cut off from the character. As soon as he starts like getting his powers and he's introduced to Bloodraven, and we start getting everything that's been built up to, George just completely cuts us off from the character and we don't see him anymore. I'm really excited to see where George takes the character. And I think that George is struggling with Bran, don't get me wrong. But regardless, I'm very fascinated to see like how accurate was, say, the Hold the Door stuff from the show. Like, is that going to be pretty close to what happens in the books? Is there not going to be time travel at all? Is that going to be different than how I think it's going to be? What information are we going to see from Bran, and especially by extension, Bloodraven? Bloodraven is one of the most important characters in the entire story, let alone A Song of Ice and Fire, but the Targaryen history, the Dunk and Egg novellas. There's a lot with, Bloodraven to look forward to, stuff that he could, unveil in terms of the other Blackfire rebellions that we don't have near as much information on. There's just so much you can like get here because Bran is going to have almost unlimited like knowledge, unlimited things that George could tell us about the story, whether it's the War of the Nine Penny Kings, whether it's stuff that happened in Fire and Blood that Bran sees in visions or whatever. There's so much that's interesting with the character of Bran and that plotline specifically. And also you have with Bran, not only is like the Children of the Forest plotline interesting, I think it's also interesting to see what George does with him as a POV. Because I think Bran is inherently a POV that you really can't have. Because it's the same idea, I've talked about this a lot when I look at the character of Bran, is he's a character that's going to be having a whole lot of knowledge that the reader shouldn't necessarily have, right? And so a character like Bran, I think, could very easily become, he's still in the main plot lines, of course, but maybe he goes to like a Littlefinger Varys role, where we see him a lot, but he's not a POV. I think especially as we get to, once Bran gets to where like other POV characters are, I could very easily see him fading out as a POV because of just what he has become, right? And So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Bran's plot line because it feels like the stakes have finally got there to match a lot of the other plot lines. It feels like this is now, okay, we're getting into the end times of the series. Bran's storyline, which has been set up, and then supposedly huge payoff, which is yet to be seen because of where we left the character in Dance. Very interested to see what we'll see. So yeah, Matt, I agree with you on the Bloodraven plot line with Bran. Their antagonists, I'm not crazy. They stay in opposition to a main character, but they aren't evil or bad. Dakota? I don't know about that one. I don't know. Also, hi Ashley. How are you doing today? Where did Alice Rivers go? I mean, I believe that she probably. Well, House the Dragon spoilers. I guess. I do believe she probably eventually died of old age. I think very similar to some of the other witch-like characters we've had in the story. Like, I don't think she had long life or anything, because we have this whole, for people that don't know, we have this whole plot line with Alice Rivers, and we don't know where she goes, because where we get to in Fire and Blood, we don't know what happens to Alice Rivers. And we don't have Fire and Blood Part 2, but she more or less, she's at Harrenhal. She has this alleged child that could be Aemon's child, and some things happen, and it's said that she had this dragon in Harrenhal, and then she kind of just disappears in the story. So I likely think that she just died. I think the more interesting questions about Alice Rivers is what was really going on in Harrenhal, and did she actually have, Aemon's child? So I think those are the more interesting questions, but we'll see. I see Toots is Dakota is having a good time. Where's Cannibal the Dragon? Well, if you're asking for the normal story, Cannibal's dead. But it does raise like a very interesting question. Like, Cannibal is such a huge dragon that eventually, I mean, he died of old age. Same answer of Alice Rivers, but how did that dragon like stay alive and or like stay hidden for so long? Very interesting question. Young Griff has huge potential, or can't speak. Young Griff has huge potential. He would be on my list. Young Griff is on this list. I'll say that. Ashley will late happy birthday. Hope you had a great one. Harrenhal must have been retaken relatively quickly. Alice must have either fled or been killed / captured. Agreed, right? Because we know that eventually she is taken out of Harrenhal. All that stuff. She is basically propping up a, depending on what you believe, a pretender, okay? And this is what we see directly after the dance. There's all sorts of characters like this that Viserys and his brother have to deal with. And likely, Alice, there's only a couple options. Alice, either she died, being captured, killed, she survived long enough and she died out eventually. Unless Alice Rivers is like Quaithe or something. Like, there's just not a lot of options. Alice Rivers is Maggie the Frog. Mayhaps. Darkstar from Ashley, I didn't got a bad word to say about Darkstar. We'll have to see if he's on the list. But, yeah. So, my number 9 character kind of blends pretty well into number 10. But my number 9 is Euron. So, I kind of thought about like the Old Town plotline, and I was very conflicted about what I wanted to put here, because I think the Old Town plotline will be a good one in the Winds of Winter, but like, am I looking forward to Sam as a character? Not really. More of the things happening around Sam. But Euron, now that's a character that I am really interested to see what happens throughout his storyline, whether that be with Euron, whether that be with Samwell, maybe even eventually Cersei. I am really interested to see that character. So I went with number 9 as Euron, because we still don't know what that character is. Like, we don't know if Euron is this fake, having all this Valyrian stuff and all this stuff. Is he a fake? Is all his like talk, actually legit? What are his plans? Is he trying to summon Krakens? Trying to take one of Daenerys' dragons? what is his whole plan with Old Town? Is he going there specifically trying to find the Horn of Winter or information on the dragons? What is, Euron's end goal, right? And this is kind of like his rise to power, right? Like, yes, in A Feast for Crows and even into A Dance with Dragons, it was Euron becoming king. But this is like his rise to being the big bad villain, because he's always kind of like, I shouldn't say always, but like he's kind of overshadowed because for one, he's really not in the first 3 books at all. He's mentioned a few times, but you have much more other villains that are at the front of the story, like Joffrey, Tywin, for instance, Walder Frey. But then when you get to like book 4, where he's really introduced, you still have like Roose and Ramsay. The Freys are still a thing, Littlefinger, like Cersei, I guess. The antagonists are still overshadowing Euron, and I feel like the Winds of Winter should kind of switch that up. Euron will become like the big bad next to the others. So I am really interested to see that. I really do like villain. Not necessarily like this isn't an origin story for Euron, but like him growing into his power, right? Like kind of like his Thanos story of like Infinity War. That will be like Euron's thing. Like Thanos off screen has been doing all these things, and by the time we see him, yeah, he's this really menacing figure, all that stuff. Kind of the way I like look at Euron, where we'll get more into the characters of Euron, because in a lot of ways we really haven't seen much of Euron outside of him being like very performative. Like we see him at the Kingsmoot, very performative. Like we're never like very intimate in terms of not sexually, but like with the character of Euron behind like closed doors. Like we only see it a very few times, and notably that one is like with Victarion when he's being ordered and what he's going to be told to do. One of the few times we see Euron not performing, not projecting to a bunch of people. So, we see that then also in the Forsaken chapter. Now that Forsaken chapter can be changed, of course. I hope it's not changed all that much, because I think it's fantastic the way it is right now. But that is one of the very few times where we see Euron actually like alone, more or less, like talking to Aaron and all these things, like looking into him for the most part as a character. So yeah, I think Euron, solid character I'm looking forward to, and we'll see. All right, let me catch up a little bit with chat. I did nothing but watch Lauren Bacall movies all day. It was fabulous. I have no idea who that is, Ashley, but having some nice rest time, watching some movies, always a good time. We're all sleeping on the goat Ario Hoda. All I'm gonna say is sure. Hi JC, how are you? But yeah, we just went over number 10. We got over number 9. We're gonna be on 8 in a second. But we're talking some Winds of Winter characters. JC, what character are you looking forward to the most in the Winds of Winter that's not named Stannis? Euron got the Infinity Stones. It's over. It's true. For some reason, whenever I read that scene of Aaron telling Euron's mistress to run, it makes me laugh. She should have, but unfortunate for her, things did not go well. But yeah, happy birthday to Ashley. Well, 1 day late, but still, the same idea applies. So moving on to number 8. Number 8, we've got a character that everybody loves. Okay, let me rephrase that. Everybody loves because of their actions and their mind, and reading their mind. So number 8 is Cersei. Cersei is now our main point of view in King's Landing. She's got to be very interesting to read in the Winds of Winter. In a lot of ways, we've already seen her fall once. This is going to be like her fall 2.0. Like, she had power. Then she loses all of her power, gets as shamed as you possibly can. She's going to like go back to having power, basically. And then she's instantly going to be taken out by young Griff. But it's not as simple as that. Cersei is one of these wild card characters. She arms the faith. You've got to be absolutely stupid to do that. And she does it. So what else could she do? Like, especially when she gets more desperate, what is she going to do? You know, she's got that Mad Queen Cersei vibe about her. I'm just interested to see how she rationalizes things in her head. You know, how she's always like, oh, these dresses, they don't fit me anymore. It must be because of these servants. Ew, they're so terrible. It's not because I'm an alcoholic and I'm gaining weight and I'm getting older. I'm very much looking forward to just being inside Cersei's head and the chaos that ensues alongside of being in the King's Landing plot. It's just a mixture for a good time. It's like Victarion, but like better. That's the, you know what? That is the easiest way to describe Cersei as a POV. She's Victarion level of fun, but she's also super light. Like Victarion's like here, he's like mid, you know, he's in the middle, but he's super fun to read. And then you got Cersei, who's just like a peg above, where it's just like she's super fun, she's much more interesting than Victarion, and she's in a better plot. What else can you say? That's Cersei in a nutshell. Victarion, okay, hear me out. We all talk about Euron and Cersei together. Victarion and Cersei would be a fantastic time. Could you imagine the power couple between those two? Think about it. They both feel like they should be the one in charge. They have huge issues with not being in charge, right? I think they'd love each other. I think that is the new headcanon that should be in A Song of Ice and Fire. Victarion and Cersei. They both want Targaryens. Is nobody else seeing what I'm seeing? But yeah. I'm looking forward to Stannis. See, yeah, I cut you off there. Euron then, followed by Jon Con and young Griff. Those are some good picks. Those are some very good picks. Stannis is dead. Dakota. He's going to be dead, but he's not yet. Everyone go sub to Ashley. Yeah, exactly. I want Ashley to make more videos because I want to react to one of her videos on stream. But I want it to be one of her newer ones. Cersei's chapters are just amazing. I'll be honest. I'm not as much as, you know, I just gave Cersei a bunch of praise. Her chapters are not as good as like some people. Like some people are like, oh, Cersei's chapters are like cream of the crop. They're the best chapters. Or they're the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm just like, no, her chapters are good. They're definitely good. But like some of her chapters run together. I don't know. Like I saw Quinn put out a tweet on X or Twitter, and he was like, all the Cersei chapters might be in my top 15. And I'm like, are you out of your goddamn mind? Theon has 7 chapters. All 7 should be in that top. Well, close to that top 15. All 7. But then there's Jon Con. Okay. Then there's other plot lines like Barristan. Like some of Jon's chapters. Definitely not Daenerys. Outside of one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like Cersei. I definitely like Cersei. I'm very interested to see her POVs. But she's not like the second coming of, I don't know, something good. So moving on to number 7. So I technically have 3 characters from the same plot line. So I kind of feel a little scummy about that, but I was like, eh. So number 7 is Asha. Now you pretty much know there's going to be 3 characters from one plot line, but let's leave it at that. I am very excited to see Asha because I want more of the character, and George just doesn't. Like she the first 3 books don't get Asha. We only see her through basically Theon's eyes. And then we finally get Asha a little bit in A Feast for like just a very little bit, and it's of all the Greyjoy like point of views of book 4. She unfortunately does not get any of like the really good moments. So yeah. But Advanced Dragons, she's fantastic. I really love her dynamic. Now that we see her with Stannis, with Theon, very excited to see the North plotline through her eyes, and also this dynamic between Stannis and Theon. How much more do I need to say? Asha's here almost purely because of Stannis' plotline. but also because I really like her character and I want her character to be expanded upon more. Now, if she dies in the first like couple of chapters in the Battle of Ice, I'm gonna be sad, but I don't think it's gonna happen because Asha is gonna rule the Iron Islands. So, really excited for Asha. Yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of like actual characters and being inside their head, I'm looking forward to Cersei. But in terms of plot lines, much more interested in Asha's plot line than Cersei's plot line. So it kind of like balances a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. Her chapters are the highlights of that book. See, I think if I would have said this, like, thank you, by the way. Thank you, Dakota. I'm glad that it popped up this time. I don't think it popped up last time you gifted. Now, unfortunately, it didn't do the Rob Stark.
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor
I was a little too quick on the gun there.
For this night and all the nights to...
Is that going to do it 5 times?
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men.
Guys, we get to watch this scene like 6 times.
To the Night's Watch for this
I should have thought this through better. I just here it comes. Wait, we got another one.
I am the shield that
Hold on, we're almost done. Thank you for all the gift members, Dakota,
for this
and also
and all the nights to come.
Welcome to the members. You know, you guys got a good time to be getting members because the video just came out.
That guards from the realm of men.
This is so
I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch.
Now I've learned something.
For this night.
I already thought this emote should have been shorter, and now I get to hear it 5 times in a row.
I am the shield that guards.
Ooh, Crab's a member now. Hell yeah.
I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night.
All right.
And all the
Don't know what I was saying before, but yeah. Thank you again, Dakota. Appreciate you. Hopefully the members enjoy their time. But as I was saying, I think her chapters are definitely on the stronger side of Feast, but I think that there are... Again, she is my number 3 POV of Feast, but like... There's chapters that I like from other plot lines that I would put above some of her best chapters. Quinn also thinks Dance is the best Song of Ice and Fire book. He's a cool dude, but his takes are, you know, he's got some takes. And it's good to have, you know, different takes. Yeah, you know, I just attribute it to the new wave of the Song of Ice and Fire fans. But Dance just cannot be the best book. It just can't. Man, I don't know. I mean, Dance has its incredible highs. I've talked about this so much. They have their incredible highs, but their lows of Dance.
I am the shield that guards from
Thank you.
men.
Is this a...
I pledge my life and honor.
Dakota sent one more gift
Watch
just so we could see it again. So Matt, enjoy your membership.
To...
And thank you, Dakota. I appreciate you. You really like seeing that Jon Snow emote. But yeah, I think takes are kind of interesting. You know, sometimes I don't agree with them. And you know, Dance is my least favorite book by a lot of the main 5. Not by a lot, but like a good amount. Like book 5, I don't have to like think about it that hard to come up with flaws of book 5. Whereas like the first 3, I got to try a lot harder. Book 4, there are flaws, but like I don't feel like they're as glaring, if that makes sense. On the subject of Cersei's chapter / plot, do you think Giles Rosby was murdered? I do not. I could see why, you know, he would be murdered, right? So the Tyrells could get into another person into the small council, which is actually what eventually ends up happening. We see that through Kevin in the epilogue, but I don't think so. I mean, he was already having bad health, like even before Cersei gave him the position. So I don't think so, but you know. We want Ashley to have as many, if not more, subs than Greece so they can have collab. Well, hold on. Me and Ashley can collab, but Ashley, you have to release a video. That's my one condition. You have to release a video. I look forward to Asha's POV of Stannis. She gets a different side of him than anybody. Agreed. Is the video stuttering? Yeah, I saw on YouTube, we were having a little bit of a issue a few minutes ago, but I think we're good now. But let me know, guys. So the stream is stuttering. I'm assuming it was because of Dakota, because Dakota just was handing out too many gifts. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, hopefully it's fine now. I think it's good. I think it's good. I think we're good. I think we're good, but let me know. Dakota is shutting the stream down. It is true. It is true. Hopefully it's all good. Let me know if it's all good now. Sometimes my internet, especially at this time, is like, eh. I just joined. I want to give my list. Is this no, this is anyone. So you're on, for instance, you're on the list. You are number 9. But yeah, it can be anyone. That's true. That's true. Also about the castle as well. It's a good point. Greece is just a stutter. Yeah, it's true. I do stutter sometimes. You guys don't get to see. Okay, I literally. Okay. That was funny. You guys won't see it as much in videos just because I cut them out, but I do. The Lannisters send their regards. Thank you, Dakota. Another dead Robb Stark, and that just you had to have the nice little cherry on top. I get you. I feel you, Dakota. I feel you. Also, I didn't pick this up last stream, even though I think I said something to Matthew. Did want to say thank you for being a member for a year. It's pretty cool. I think you're one of only 2 people to do that. You and Dakota, I believe. I'm not sure, 100% sure on that though. The Night's Watch doubled their members now. They are down bad. Hey guys, let's all drop a goat in the chat to show our support for Quentin. For Quentin, that is now a member, I appreciate you. But, the A Song of Ice and Fire, Quentin? No. That's all I'm going to say. No. Damn, all this peer pressure. I got the meat sweats. Ashley, I know you're working on the script, so just release it. Also, hi, Kara. How are you? How do you gift memberships? I'll be honest, I have no idea. I've never gifted memberships before. I'm assuming you go into chat. No, I have no idea. Dakota's going to have to explain that one. I have absolutely no idea. But let me go back and let's continue the list. So number 6, I guess we should just talk about number 5. No, we'll talk about 6. We'll talk about 6 first. So number 6 I have is Barristan. I love Barristan as a POV. He's one of my favorites. I have a bias towards Barristan. He's going to be in the middle of the Battle of Fire. If he dies in 2 seconds, like if he dies in the Battle of Fire, you know, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a real tough one where I'm going to have to sit here and go, wow, you know, he was my top 10 going into the book and he died within the first like 3 chapters. But, you know, I love Barristan though, because like George puts so many interesting things about this character because like he has experience with so much. He dealt with the last Blackfire Rebellion, just saying, and the Blackfires, you know, they're coming about and all that stuff. He's just got this nice, like, I don't know. He's got this nice feel to the character, right? Everybody else, he reminds me of Ned. You know, it's like Ned if he was like reincarnated into another POV. And I just like Barristan's sense of like, again, he's a good character. He's a good person thrust into a politically in turmoil situation. And that just makes for fantastic reading. Fantastic. Okay. There's a reason a Game of Thrones is so good. So I'm really looking forward to that part of it. But then I'm also looking forward to it because you have characters like Victarion, Tyrion, and Barristan possibly all in the same room. That's all I got to say. That's where it's fantastic. I'm really excited to see that. I'm also excited to see, is the shave pate, playing around, and Barristan, will he deal with that? Will he die because of it? I'm excited to see it. I just want to see it. And this is what should really tell you. The Marine plot is one of the plots I care the least about. And I still have it in this top 10 because of Barry the Bold. There's a meme in my friend group. Now, some of those friends have, well, almost all of them have only watched the show. But the meme is, Marine and Essos is where characters go to die, to get less interesting and less enjoyable. Barristan has outlived that. It's a very rare thing. Even the best POVs, even at their heights, can get torn down, just like Tyrion. But yeah, that's my number 6. Let me go back to chat, see if you guys are saying anything of interest. But yeah. Quentin number 1? I don't know. I don't know, Precious. I don't know. The Member? Sure. But, again, Quentin, A Song of Ice and Fire? No. Thank you, Cannibal, for that. I love Barristan. He's one of my favorite characters. Agreed. Barry the Bold is just fantastic. It's only letting me send super chats. There's no option to gift memberships. I just wanted to hear the alert again. Well, JC, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. The one time Barristan gets involved in politics, he does try to do a coup with probably the wrong guy. That's definitely going to betray him. It's just a classic at this point. It's a classic. Honorable characters, sketchy guys. It's a classic. I'm intrigued to see what happens with Lady Stoneheart, and I need Jon to be resurrected ASAP. He's been lying dead in the snow for 14. It's true. That's the crazy part. For the story, it's going to be like mere moments since Jon has actually been dead or whatever. For us, it's like he's been dead forever. The last time he was semi-revived was in the show. I think House of the Dragon has done too much damage. The Green Council is more persistent because of the Blood Oath. It makes the war more legitimate, while the show it wants for peace. That's not exactly why I would say House of the Dragon is cooked, but I do think it has taken a lot of damage because of plot or character assassinations, and I would say a lot of the going away from the source material. But yeah, I also wasn't a fan of the Green Council stuff either, but I don't think it was something that destroyed the show. Like the Green Council came out in season 1, and I was like, wow, that was the most disappointed I was for season 1, but I still also was like, show's still good, I mean, put it this way. Alicent was outside of Viserys, was the best written character up until episode 9. Up until episode 9 is when it kind of all fell apart, but it didn't fall apart massively. That's the thing. It's it fell apart slightly because Alicent just didn't make any sense in terms of she didn't make as much sense as it didn't ruin her character, but it was okay, it's a little questionable. Okay, let's just see where this goes. And then season 2 came, and we get to the finale, and it's just no, Alicent sucks. Take her down. She's awful now. That's where we are. Surrounded by filthy casuals. Well, yeah, they are filthy casuals. I thought it was sweet how Barristan left a pillow on Dany's seat after she mentioned her sword. Yeah, that's just Grandpa Barristan doing his job, he's not like Jorah and who's a weird pedophile type of guy. He's more I actually care. This could be my granddaughter, because Barristan's just a great guy. I also do think the casting for Barristan was perfect. And I know he fought for not having the ending Barristan had, but he was done dirty. My top 10, no particular order. Euron, Tyrion, Jaime, Cersei, Victarion, Stannis, Arya, Jaqen, Jon Con, and Varys. Those are some good ones. I like that. Do we count Stoneheart as a character, or is she more of a force of nature? Dakota, I feel like you watched a video I put out because I used a lot of terminology like that. But I do kind of look at Stoneheart now where she's not even a character. She's a she's more of a vessel of themes, is kind of how I look at the character. Alicent is getting the death by 1,000 cuts treatment. It's true. It's true. Cat was, oh God, Cat dying was great for several reasons. She dies and we get Stoneheart. You know, it did have a really gut punching moment for the series, and the books would not be the same without Cat's death. So in that way, I'll tell you this: she died for good reasons. You know, she died so that the series could be what it is. So yeah, I will say, Matt's like, I didn't love the way episode 8 was handled, like the ending. Like I thought it was kind of jarring, because this is the way I remembered watching episode 8 for season 1 was, so the reconciliation thing, I thought, and this is not how it was based on the next episode and all that stuff. I thought her like reconciliating or whatever, reconciling with Rhaenyra was because she was playing Rhaenyra, like she was lying to her. That's not the way they went. And then the next episode kills me, because the next episode plays it off as Alicent was not trying to get Aegon on the throne at all. Like she wasn't trying to usurp Rhaenyra at all. This was all Otto's fault and all this, and all the counselors, they've already been planning for this. Like, we have literal scenes of Alicent with Aegon telling him he's going to be king. Like, Alicent bullied Rhaenyra so hard, she had to leave King's Landing. She was going to basically publicly smear Rhaenyra and take all of her birthrights from her sons, I should say. Like, it just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. But, you know, that's a whole different story. We're not here to talk about House of Dragon season 1 or 2. But, yeah, I do agree. What if we did, this is a video I should do on April Fools. I should just do the life of Hodor. And I just say nothing but Hodor the whole video. And I just like enunciate. I'd be like, Hodor. Or like, Hodor. Or like, I don't know. Some other ways. I'm not an actor. That's Ricky. We got to get Ricky to do like a YouTube short of just him being Hodor. Different expressions of Hodor. Dakota, you don't watch the videos? It's a shame. It's a shame. If it wasn't Jon Snow or Daenerys who was the prince or princess who was promised, I think it was this other Aegon. Again, I don't think it'll be a single person. I think it'll be a joint collaborations of people fulfilling that prophecy. Do you think Jon will stab Daenerys in the heart to create Lightbringer like Nissa? I go back and forth on this, because on one hand, I definitely could see it. Like, George maybe makes the two characters have some sort of attraction to each other, and the only way that they can defeat the others is with Jon killing Daenerys. I could see it. I think if it was going to happen, I think it would be more of a situation where Daenerys is becoming more unhinged. Like, she's becoming somebody that maybe isn't like mad, but she's more like a liability in a way. I don't know. That's the best way I would say it. I wouldn't predict that to be the case, but I could see it happening. Where's Team Jon should stay dead? I think it'd be a lot more impactful for his character if he did, but I just don't think that's the case. I saw a theory that the dinner was just a dream of Viserys and never actually happened. The problem with that idea, though, is Alicent's actions in episode 9 almost purely do not make any sense if that dinner sequence doesn't happen. Because then it makes even less sense. It makes even less sense why all of a sudden Alicent's like, oh, we're putting Aegon on the throne? I never would have thought that. By the way, I can already tell, because I get this comment, like, not often, but I see it on live streams, especially where they're targeted, like videos, but like with stream, with you guys reacting. I'm going to have at least one person in the comments. It's going to be like, It took you 45 minutes to get through 5 names. I can already tell. But number 5, kind of related to Barristan, kind of not, is going to be Daenerys. I am really looking forward to Daenerys. Like last book, in book 5, she was fine. I don't think she was bad. I don't think she was great. She was just kind of fine. But then this next book, I'm really looking forward to her because I think I see so many parallels to her arc in book 1, which is my favorite of Daenerys' whole storyline. I really enjoyed her in the first book. I think we're going to get a lot more of that. And I just think what Daenerys has to do, there's so much we're going to explore with the character, with the plot lines going on, going back to the Dothraki. How does she deal with that situation? Coming back to Meereen, then being in chaos, and how does she interact with the personalities like Tyrion and Victarion? Daenerys is finally getting a lot more help. She's getting a lot of interesting characters around her, which she really hasn't had to the level she's going to since like book 1. Like, yes, she's had Barristan. I don't really like Dario. I definitely don't like Jorah. Like, she just hasn't had like the greatest side characters with her. And now she's really going to. So I look forward to that part of it. I look forward to her trying to tame her dragons or control them, how that's all going to go down. I enjoy what we could potentially see with her in the future with like Pentos, or if she goes to a Shy, or however many different places you can possibly go, Volantis. I mean, I really look forward to the character for both her plot line, but also her as an individual. JC is going to love that take. He's going to be like, Daenerys? Ew. Also, thank you for the super chat, JC. Of course, you super chat when I'm looking away from my YouTube dashboard, but, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you as always. But yeah. Did it actually do the thing for you? I didn't hear it, so I don't know if it's done it yet. Do the alert. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it does it. I don't know. It's being weird. Let me go back up to where I was. I want to see the wacky adventures of the Hooded Man. I like that. I wonder what happens to Drogon and where did he take Daenerys? I guess we'll never know. Drogon probably went to Valyria, is likely where I would guess. I think Jon will be resurrected, but will be very different. Yeah, I agree. And, there's a little bit of spoilers, I guess, but I actually don't have Jon on my top 10. Mainly because I don't know at what point he's going to be resurrected. And also, even though I am looking forward to him, of all the characters in the North, he's just not the one I look at and go, oh, this is the character I'm the most interested for. I much prefer where Bran's plotline is right now, the characters around Stannis, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to oh my god, I can't speak. Okay. I'm looking forward to Dany finally bringing her ass to Westeros. That is, say it again, Kara. George needs to hear it. Just yell it to him. We need to see it. Okay? I'm tired of messing around in Essos. The Essos continent as a whole is not nearly as interesting as Westeros is. I'm sorry for the Essos lovers, but characters go to die in Essos, and I'm tired of it. The only difference is Dany didn't arrive in Essos at the beginning. She was already in Essos. She was already in the muck, okay? And she will have survived. Even though it was a hard road of how we got there, especially book 2. But hey, I'm really concerned that it didn't play the alert for JC, or at least it didn't for me, unless I was really fixated, but I didn't see it. So JC, I'm sorry if it didn't do the alert on screen for you. Alerts like to work and they like to not work. That's all I can say. Also all good on trying to gift members and stuff, I know you guys like the food chain of pledging yourself to the Night's Watch, but you know what? I actually know why Dakota likes that alert so much. Because if you think about it, it's really Jon signing his life away and how he was manipulated by characters like Benjen and Lewin and all these other characters, I get it now. I get why Dakota likes that emote. I get it. I get it. Daenerys, yuck. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, Ashley. I tried not to remember that scene of Daemon, but here you go. You brought it up. I don't think Daario will survive the journey back to Westeros if he even goes all along on it. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think Daario's going to Westeros. I think that his character's either going to die or he's just going to be left behind. Like Daenerys is just going to be like, well, you had your time, but we're breaking up, and leave. You know, I think it's going to be one of those two. You know what, Euron? When you meet Daenerys, that'll be an interesting time. I agree. Greece just casual. I only read so many of them, Dakota, okay? I'm trying to stay on topic. I'm trying to, like, get through them all. I'm 100% going to flip through Winds of Winter to see when the first Jon chapter will be, if we ever get it. For all we know, Jon is who George R. R. Martin has trouble writing. Definitely could be. I will say this, Kenshin. You might have problems, because what if he renames the chapter? It doesn't say like Jon 1, it says something else, like how he normally has been doing. You might skip it. Matt's Daenerys, you know, she may have failed in ruling Meereen, but I will say she had a tough job. Much tougher than she would have in Westeros. Like, not only are you trying to rule over an entire faction of people that, A, you're not really native to, 2, you know, a good portion of that population believe in slavery, and you just took it away like that, which is a good thing, of course, but it's a difficult situation. Like, think about how long it's taken the United States to deal, and we're still dealing with it, but like with racial issues. Like, think about that. Daenerys is trying to fix that in a couple months. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a tougher situation, but I do agree. She has failed ruling Meereen. I will say, though, Euron, I do not expect Marwyn to be in the Meereen or the Daenerys plot for a while, just based upon where he is. I do, Dan. I do believe that that's how Bran the Builder built the wall. I agree. Jon being easily manipulated. Yeah, I knew it. It was about Barry. It was on topic. Well, I'll just assume you said that Barristan is the GOAT. Do you think Cersei will blow up the Great Sept like in the show? Obviously, there will be consequences for this in the books. I could very easily see a situation, Brett, where we have a situation where the population has completely turned against Cersei. Young Griff is on his way, or is even marching into the city as we speak. And Cersei, being desperate, hating the people for turning on her, hating the religious faction, uses wildfire caches. Oh, JC figured it out. Oh shit. Here it comes. Thank you, JC, for gifting a membership. Welcome to the members, Annabelle. I think Dakota broke it. Did Dakota break?
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night and all the nights to come.
Shut up, Sam. Get off the screen. Okay, thank you. All right. Gosh. Dakota, thank you for your membership. I appreciate you, and you guys are going to have to sit through Sam again. It only works on mobile. Very interesting, JC. Very interesting. Here comes Sam again.
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch.
Welcome, Kenshin, by the way. Welcome.
And all the nights to come.
I'm pretty sure you've been a member before, so welcome back. Sam, get off the screen. All right, thank you. Didn't Jaime say that he removed all the wildfire after the King's Landing sack? He might have gotten rid of everything that he knew of, right? Like, he didn't probably know where everything was. And also, there are still pyromancers. Like, there are still pyromancers that could make wildfire. We saw that in book 2. So it could happen. It could happen. All right, let's continue on. We're getting off topic. We're getting way off topic. We're not even like at the top yet of this list. So number 4, I have is Theon. So Theon already was the best POV of the last book for me. So of course he's already at high, rankings. I'm ready for the character. His continuation of his arc where he's still trying to get through this abuse of, yes, he is now Theon. He's not Reek, but he still has those tendencies. And that's what a lot of what we see in the Winds of Winter sample chapter of Theon is about. But of course, he's also with Stannis. So everything that I said for Asha applies for Theon, because Theon is just like one of the best characters of the story right now. So that's why the higher rating. So you have 1, Stannis plotline. 2, Theon is fantastic in his arc. And now 3, you also put him with those other characters like Asha and Stannis, which is going to get a lot more out of the character of Theon. You also look at Theon's situation. I'm really interested to see if George is going to kill him off or if he's going to continue his arc, which I think Theon, his arc is not over, right? His arc, I think, will have some resolution with like the Starks, notably like Bran. I think the way the show did it was actually really well done. But, I expect we're going to see more of Theon, but there is always that, okay, maybe this is where George, puts Theon out of his misery. Oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go. I appreciate your guys' gifts, and I appreciate you guys. Now we got to hear Fat Sam again. Here we come. Here it comes. Come on. Well, let's get it over with.
I am the shield that guards from the realm of
Nobody's
men.
ever going to want to gift a membership
I
again
pledge
just
my
based on how I
life
react
and
to
honor
this.
to the Night's Watch for this night and all the nights to come.
I just realized I forgot I cut them off at the end. So in reality, it's all the nights to what? Don't know. But yeah, welcome to the members, Ox. Thank you, JC, again for your gifting. But yeah, I appreciate you. This is trolling. This is trolling to a new level. All right, Sam, hit it. I said, hold on. Hit it. Okay, whatever.
I am the shield that guards
start
from
talking
the realm
and he
of
doesn't.
men. I pledge
Welcome,
my
Cindy, to
life
the members.
and honor
Thank you to Cutter
to
for
the
your
Night's
membership.
Watch
You
for
guys are
this
getting me
night
flustered.
and all the nights to come.
But yeah, so before something else happens, let's continue. So Theon, I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to see where he goes as a character, and it's just a good time. For Theon, it's not a good time. For us, the readers, it's a fantastic time, especially if his first chapter in the Winds of Winter is the sample chapter we've already gotten. We're in for a great time. But let's move on. So number 3 is the one time I cheated on this list. I didn't want to have this spammed with all people of the same camp, even though I kind of did it with Stannis, Theon, and Asha. So number 3 is young Griff / Arianne. I would also maybe throw in a / John Con. Though that trio of characters, that plot line, very much looking forward to it. As you guys know, I already love Arianne. Okay, of all the main A Song of Ice and Fire characters, she's the one to simp for. I love her just in terms of things she's thinking about. That didn't come out right. Things she is thinking about. That's what I meant. And so I enjoy her inner monologue. I enjoy the plot that she's walking into, one of the best, right? The Battle of Steel, going to Storm's End, meeting the Chads and John Con and young Griff, being wrapped up in the Blackfire plot and the Golden Company. Everything going on there is just fantastic. We're going to see basically her rise to power, in my opinion. I believe she is going to marry young Griff. She's going to become the new one true queen. I'm very much looking forward to this plotline. I really, really want to see more of it. I did like her sample chapters. I don't think they were the best. I think that both of them were solid. I liked both of them for different reasons. The second Arianne chapter, I liked the second half specifically because of, well, everything I just talked about, what she's walking into. But then the first one I really love because we get to see her thinking about things like Quentyn and Daenerys and Viserys. I love when George calls back to the first book or the second book and has other characters look at things that we already read. Like us, we understand Daenerys a lot of her actions and what she's done, unless you're JC and you're a hater. But for me, we understand why Daenerys like allows her brother to be killed. But from an outsider's point of view, you look at Arianne, she's thinking about this going, so Daenerys, who was married into the Dothraki, a very savage people, allowed her brother, her last like family member, to be killed. Pretty brutally, by the way. It wasn't just like his head was cut off, bam, he's done. It was, we poured like molten gold on his head and he, died. And then she does all these other questionable things. Like she has an army of unsullied, sellswords, all that kind of stuff. I just love the way that like we get to explore that through Arianne's head. And obviously this is going to be because of, well, Arianne is going to be a bit jealous of Daenerys. That's first of all. And two, because likely we're going to see some sort of conflict between Daenerys and Arianne. And this kind of think about if young Griff and Arianne do get married or whatever, Arianne will have these thoughts and will put them into young Griff's head as well. So I just like this plot line. I just enjoy this plot line. Like I if you even throw Jon Con in here as well, like if it was young Griff, Arianne, and Jon Con, I'd probably put it 1. But like a single character, I would go towards different characters. But I will say, Jon Con as well. Same idea of like Barristan, right? Like, or I would say more like Ned, right? Because Ned and Jon Con, closer in age, but them like talking about the rebellion or talking about pre-Robert's era and all that stuff, like talking about Rhaegar, all those type of things, you really enjoy. You're really seeing a guy who has spent a good portion of his life propping up young Griff to be the next ruler, and maybe even finding out that, okay, young Griff is not who he says he is. He's not a Targaryen. He's a Blackfire. How does Jon Con even react to rumors like that? It's just so much to be interested with in this plotline specifically. All right. Let me go back to chat. Fat Sam implies the existence of a skinny Sam. Well, I won't lie. I also got that like name meme from my friends. They would just, every time Sam was on screen, it'd be like, we're back to the Fat Sam plotline. And I was like, fair is fair. Fair is fair. To be fair, it's never a good time for Theon. It was good when he took Winterfell for that little bit of joy that he had, even though he felt a little bad about it. Also, yes, Ox, welcome to the members. You do, for all the new members, a lot of new members. Thank you, JC and Dakota. You guys will get videos pretty much as soon as I post them. That's usually, my schedule as of right now, I usually have all those up by Monday. So a lot of them just went up today, so hope you guys enjoy those. He was having a pretty good time in that first A Clash of Kings chapter with his Salt Girl. I'll go a step further.
I am the shield that guards.
April's getting in on the enjoyment. Hell yeah.
I pledge my life and honor.
Hell yeah, April, you're now a member. Welcome. JC, he came back. He wanted to hear Fat Sam. Oh, God. Oh, God. We're going to have to hear a lot of Fat Sam. All right, guys, I'm going to walk away, and you guys can just listen to Fat Sam. He'll take it over. Thank you, not JC. Well, yeah, thank you, JC, but also thank you, Dakota, as well.
I am the shield that guards.
Neuron, I'll answer your question when Sam's done.
I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch.
Sam, you're doing
for
great.
This night and all the nights to come.
So, Dakota. Not Dakota.
I am the shield.
Euron. I didn't even have time to say. Okay, yes, Euron. Cersei was on my list. She was
to the Night's Watch for this night and all
number
the
8.
Nights to come.
She was number 8. So you were right next to her.
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night.
God, if
and
you guys
all the nights to
gift one, I'm leaving. I'm in the stream.
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men.
I don't even know where I am. I'm so flustered right now.
I pledge my life
I am indeed an approved Daenerys hater.
to the
You
Night's
are.
Watch for this night and all the nights to come.
I'm also very interested in how the real Dorne plot plays out. That is correct, Kara. That's correct.
I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch.
Grease, do not change it until I get to gift 20 members.
To...
Oh, God. I might just silence it at that point. If one of you does gift 20 members, I am going to mute it. I'm going to mute it. I'm going to let it play. You guys can have it play it, but I'm going to mute it. I don't know where I'm at. Gotta wait until we have a big stream. That's fair. But thank you guys. I do appreciate you. For people that are watching this later as basically a VOD, they're gonna be in hell. But it's just how it's got to be sometimes. Theon will likely die soon. No, he's gonna die. I don't think soon. I think he dies in the battle with the others, regardless. Is Gilly with Fat Sam? You better hope not. I will say that is something that's interesting. We don't necessarily know where Gilly is at the moment, but I would have to agree that she's probably there with him, and until she gets sent somewhere. And either she's going to be in Old Town or sent to Hornhill, whichever. The wall is now fully manned. It's true. But welcome, Cindy, to the members and all that. I hope you enjoy your Greyjoy sigil next to your name. Here's the bad part. If Euron ever gets gifted a membership, like in the chat Euron, he's never allowed to be gifted another one because then he will lose his Greyjoy sigil. I really hope Cersei goes to Casterly Rock. I think her chapters there have so much potential. Us exploring the place for the first time through her, getting flashbacks from when she was young and more. I agree. I talked about this specifically with JC in a video we did. I don't remember if it was for the 25 Days of Winds of Winter or it was just a standalone video. Actually, I don't remember if it was on her. Yeah, it was on her, I believe. Maybe her and I can't remember. But I do think, based upon George saying we're going to see Casterly Rock, it has to be through either her or Jaime. And I do think it would make sense for it to be through her. So I do think we will see it. And I am really excited to see that. I can't. This is hilarious. Yes. The entire community is going to be taking the black by the end of the stream. That's true. If you become a member, you're also going to be celibate. So, take that as you will. Hello, Sir Breton Briarwhite. I think I got that right. I don't know. I'm not good on pronunciation, but welcome to the channel. I've just discovered your channel. I love what I'm seeing so far. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate that. I always ask this, people that are in their first time, either interact with them or any of that stuff. What video or what thing got you to the channel? I always find things like that very interesting. I will say, I have been posting YouTube shorts for all my videos, and those are kind of popping off. I can't lie. So, appreciate all the people that like those. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I started with the style of just doing fresh YouTube shorts, just making them, not taking it from the video. But then I started doing it from the video, and that's just much easier on me because then I don't have to do voiceover for every single YouTube short I do, and it's just easier. But here we go, Fat Sam again. But thank you. I do appreciate you with the kind words, Breton. Greece is one of the better of Song by Fire channels. I try my best. Thank you.
The shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge.
Welcome,
my
Twist,
life
to
and
the members.
To the Night's Watch.
They're just going one after each.
And all the nights to come.
JC and Dakota, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Euron the Kinslayer. I've heard nothing good about the character of that villain. He's definitely gonna be. I think he's gonna be the big bad, right next to the others. I
am the shield that guards.
I think he's going places. Not like these folk over here, or I guess I should say, right here. These folk, their lives are over. Nothing interesting's happening with these guys. They definitely don't have 5 more books. Well, for Sam, he stopped being enjoyable after book 3, but that was harsh. I take it back, Sam. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But thank you again, JC and Dakota. Appreciate you guys as always. Welcome, KP. I hope you enjoy your membership. Euron is an amazing character. I agree. It could be through Tyrion if he and Victarion split off a portion of Daenerys' fleet and go to take Casterly Rock and her name. Ashley. Okay. Hold on. She's not going to like this. If you think Victarion is living that long, you have not been paying attention. Ashley, I know you love Victarion. And I know a lot of chat loves I know everybody likes Victarion. But that dude's dead. He's deader than dead. He's dying at some point. I was watching a Crusader Chris video and your Tywin. Oh, so you're very new. Popped up in my recommended, so I gave it a listen and subscribed. I agree that Tywin's reputation is a bit overrated. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that video. Thank you, Crusader Chris, as well. But yeah, I really do am enjoying those videos, like, you know, talking about the characters and how the community maybe perceives them. Because I also did one on Catelyn. I really like doing the Catelyn one, and that's just because I think people really love to hate Catelyn, whereas like Tywin, I think there's just a general consensus that Tywin is better than he really probably is. So yeah, I really enjoy doing those videos. I'll probably do another one soon. I'll probably do an updated one for Ned, because I've done it, I think, once or twice, because a lot of people think Ned is stupid, and I don't think he's stupid at all. So I'll probably do Ned next. I don't know when I'll do that one. It'll probably be about 2 or 3 weeks from now. I'll probably do a Ned one, but I really do like that. Mike is a little too close to your mouth. That was the point. It was for emphasis. This is the first time I'm interested for the Sam chapters because of the place he is and the minor characters he's around, but he still sucks. I like Sam, but he just gets a little, like, I get tired of him being scared of everything. And like, I don't know. Victarion has the potential to be a decent guy. I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know. I mean, he's already a pretty rough individual. But, you know, I mean, yeah, I think if he gets away from Euron, maybe the toxicity will drain out of him. Also, I know, Ashley, I know you love him. I know you love him. Who is the most doomed character, Victarion or oh, okay, so Matt's. Okay, let's pick up the mic again. It's definitely Tommen. Tommen's dead. Like, if you like Tommen, you know, I understand. He's a kid. He's got some memeable lines in the books, but he's dead. There you go. Oh, wait. So, okay, yeah. Dornish is, I believe, the second month, right? Because I was confused there for a second. But Twist, you've been a member before. I remember that. But yeah. A lot of gifting of memberships from JC and Dakota. So it was one of them. I know for certain it was one of them, but yeah. Ned's not stupid, just has different values than most. Exactly. And you put that in a situation where that value system makes it a lot harder to get things done. And you look at Ned's value system, it worked perfectly fine until Robert died. Once Robert died, that's when the value system was like, okay, well, this doesn't hold up anymore. Like, you've lost all of your support. You've lost your protection. Your shield is gone. So, yeah. George would never do such a thing. You retract that statement. You know what? George does have a problem with not killing his POV characters off, so you might be right about that one. Victarion has a dad bod? I don't know about that one. JC. Oh, we're taking shots at Tommen now. The Frey guy would take shots at kids. Y'all need to check. Hey, I like Victarion, but you know, he's okay. He's okay. All right, let me move on. Let's move on here. Number 2. So number 2, I've said this how many times? It's going to be said in a video this week as well with my Brienne video. It's not like a Winds of Winter predictions type thing, but it's more like I'll just tell you what it is. So I basically, one of the videos this week is on, will Brienne kill Stannis like in the show? So Arya's in that video, but I say in that video, Arya is just one of those characters I'm looking forward to almost the most. Like, she's up there. She's top 2 for me. Because if I think there's so much George can explain with this character that would be so interesting, as like the themes of revenge and all the build up that we've been going into, her becoming a faceless man, and that whole plot line, then going to see her mother likely being able to maybe kill her mother, coming full circle with what her mother has become and what Arya herself is becoming, being fully just filled with rage and revenge and wanting to kill all these people on her list. One, I think Arya is going to have one of the strongest, just in terms of a character arc. I think Arya is being set up to be like, maybe not because this is really high expectations, but I could very easily see her being the Theon of Winds of Winter, where like Theon is the character of A Dance with Dragons. I could see Arya being that for the Winds of Winter in terms of just a character arc specifically. But then you also mix that with Brienne being there, Jaime, the Riverland plot being super interesting with the Freys. She's just going to be in a great position. I find that, again, where she's going to start, I think the Misery chapter, or Mercy chapter, why did I say Misery? Mercy chapter. I think a lot of that's going to be rewritten for obvious reasons, but I think where George was heading with the character, even from what you can get in that chapter, I think her Bravo stuff is going to be fantastic, and I also think that her then going to Westeros is also going to be great. So I'm really looking forward to Arya, which is, I mean, I think Arya is crazy because she goes from book one, she's kind of like a side character, like she's like she's a POV to offset how many POVs we get of Ned in the first book, and then book two she becomes like a main POV, and then book three she's one of the main POVs, like outside of like probably Tyrion. She's like right up there in terms of chapter count, all that. And then she goes back to being kind of a side character again. Like where Sansa is. Sansa and Arya are like the same right now. They're both kind of side characters at the moment. Like, okay, I feel like I should phrase that differently. They're not side characters in terms of they're not like main characters anymore, but they're characters that are main characters that are shifting to the back. It's what should have happened in House of the Dragon season 2, but they didn't have the balls like George did. But, you know. But yeah, that's my spiel on Arya at number 2. I really enjoy her at number 2. Why do you think Joffrey turned out to be such an evil little shit when his siblings were so much nicer? So part of that is, you know, inbreeding. So part of it is that Joffrey just came out as the bad egg. I also think that Joffrey was extremely spoiled. And also Robert was not really a father figure to Joffrey at all. And again, it's different for Tommen and Myrcella, and I think it's different for them because they're not growing up expecting to be the heir to the throne, right? Like, they're not expected to be the person that's going to sit on the throne next. I think that has a lot to do with it, right? I think that think about it this way. You know, for instance, a character like Aerion Brightflame, in a lot of ways, he's somebody that is in a lot of ways spoiled and all of that stuff. I think that is all apparent in Joffrey as well. Plus you then factor in the inbreeding, plus the lack of a father figure, plus Cersei letting him get away with everything. And then plus a part of it is just how he was born, right? Like there's a thing we talk about with, like, say for instance, most people that turn out to be serial killers have problems of killing animals or things of that nature. Joffrey fits that stereotype like perfectly. So I think it's a lot of things. I think that it's the way he was raised, the circumstances around his birth, all that kind of stuff, and just, I think, genetics as well. In hindsight, killing Kevin might have been a mistake by George. I don't think so. I think it makes perfect sense for where Cersei's arc needs to go. Hi, Kirsty. How are you? So number 1 is Tyrion then. Gulp. And I did not forget about Tyrion. He just maybe is not on here. Grease was not too kind about Victarion in an upcoming video he and I recorded about the Winds sample chapters. I think I was respectful and as considerate as I could be. I would say that JC, just a counter, was also quite negative on Victarion. Not negative, underwhelmed. But yes, there will be a video on JC's channel in the coming weeks, so look forward to that. You know, it's about the Winds sample chapters. It's a good one. I enjoyed it. So, yeah. Kevin would have been a decent political viewpoint in King's Landing. Yes, but Cersei could also. That's all I'm saying. Ashley, I would never. Who are you going to believe? Me or JC? You've been modded on my channel for how long? That's all I'll say. Joffrey is spoiled and entitled, and Cersei never stopped him from bad behavior, and neither did Robert. I agree. Yeah, I do think it's a mix of having a neglectful, abusive father. It's a mix of his mother also at the same time, like coddling him too much and just letting him get away with whatever, whatever. Also, Cersei's not the best person to look up to. Neither is Robert, to be fair. So it's a lack of a good, stable parental figure. And just a bunch of others. It's just a ton of stuff. Like, I think also part of it is Joffrey was just born evil. Exactly like Breton says. I think there's a lot of things. Like, I think this is you know what? Hold on. This is a good topic. I like this topic. Don't listen to that ad that was on my phone. I was going to write something down. Whenever you guys, like, get really good ideas and we talk about them for a long time, sometimes I write them down and then I do them later. Joffrey. We'll just put Joffrey evil. Cersei spent more time with Joffrey than the other kids. That's also true. That's also true. Robb should have married Myrcella, and there is an alternate timeline where that would have happened because Myrcella definitely had a crush on Robb. So, yeah. Robert tried, he failed, but he at least acted against Joff's worst behaviors. Yeah, but like striking your child's not good. Robert was like, as much as you want to blame it on Cersei, Robb was also a terrible parent. He was a terrible parent. Alcoholic. He was cheating on his mother. Well, I mean, it is Cersei, and Cersei was threatening to kill Robert. So, like, but yeah, he wasn't a good father. Robert was just not it. So. That's a very interesting thing. I did not know about that, Kirsty. That's pretty cool about the idea of a bullhead and horse face in Chinese mythology or / religion. And then that parallels to Arya and Gendry. That's interesting. Here's another suggestion for you. What if Robb had been married to Alice Karstark? That's an interesting one. I will say I don't think that there's a lot in that is hard because Robb could have married within the northern houses if the events of A Song of Ice and Fire don't happen. But I just don't think that was, like, given, like, as soon as a Game of Thrones starts, there was no chance that was going to happen. So, like, that would have happened. They would have had to have been betrothed much earlier. But, I don't know. It's a solid idea, but it's like, there's not a lot exactly to I don't know. There's a lot that you have to build for that to be the point. You know? Sometimes you guys do have some ideas. I mean, I do like Brett and I like the discussion point. I just don't know if I can make a whole video out of something like that. But you guys, I always tell you, you're free to have your own opinions. Sometimes they're just wrong. Didn't Tommen hint that Joffrey molested him? Yes. I also believe that is the case in Feast for Crows, I believe, maybe? I'm not 100% sure on that. Not like as it didn't happen in Feast for Crows, but like we are maybe told that. I believe it was Feast for Crows. Not sure, though. Striking your child is not good. Grease with the hot takes. Well, I'm just saying. Just saying. Off topic, but do you think Fat Sam will interact with Leighton Hightower and his daughter? No, I don't think that Samwell specifically will. I think that Samwell, like, say, for instance, like with Theon and Stannis, Samwell could be like a prisoner, for instance, and see Euron interacting with those characters. So I don't think it'll be Sam himself. I think it'll be other characters. My opinion is the Riverlands is based and we will rise again in the winds of winter, only to probably be burned again. Rob marrying anyone other than Rosalind is disrespectful to House Frey. Well, okay, before that was gonna happen. Okay? So we'll say. Also, who knows? Rob could have married any House Frey girl. We don't know if it was Rosalind. I think Tommen would be very similar to Aenys. I think it would really depend on the council around him. Tommen and Aenys would like perfectly match up. Will Pate/Jaqen make Fat Sam into Fit Sam? Here's the thing, JC. If starving to death and trudging through the snows could not make Fit Sam, nothing is going to make Fit Sam. So there you go. Unless there's some magic. Magic could do it. Or, you know what? Let's get the mic back up. Or, here, this is the other way. Samwell runs into Roose and Ramsay, and they perform some fat-altering surgeries. Take that as you will. But let's move on to number one. So number one is Stannis, of course. He's just the GOAT. I'm excited by his plotline the most of the three for obvious reasons. And, yeah, he's the best character, and he's in the best plotline. Thank you, Mom. But yeah, there's not much else to say. Stannis is in the best plotline, the northern plotline. He's going to have the Battle of Ice as soon as the battle starts. He's got some of the best character motivation, and I don't know how else to say this. He's just the GOAT. For all the reasons that Theon and Asha are at 4 and 7, just applies to Stannis, but Stannis is just the best character in the series. So that's the explanation. There's nothing else that needs to be said. I'm excited how likely Stannis is probably going to die in the next book. I'm excited to see how he allegedly burned Shireen. That's a crazy thing to say, but George has said it. I'm excited to see how the Boltons get dealt with. I'm excited to see everything. I'm excited to see everything. So yeah. I'm curious to see where George goes with Bronn and Barbary Dustin. It's fair. Two, like, kind of minor characters, but Barbary Dustin especially we'll definitely see more of. So it'll be interesting to see what, like, her full motivation is. Sam, the reason people died of hunger on the ranging. You know, it's possible. It's possible. He didn't get into Fit Sam, so something had to have happened. Tinfoil theory, Bronn is secretly a bastard son of House Rain or Tarbeck. It's possible. It's possible. We don't know really anything about Bronn's backstory, but yeah, definitely could be. The Night Lamp theory, that's another reason to love the Stannis camp and make him number one. But yeah. So that is the stream. I thank you guys, especially JC and Dakota, for the multiple. How many? You know what? Before the stream ends, can I go up here and just count how many times John and Sam said their vows? Let's find out. So 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I think it's not it. Hold on. So I think there was 17 Sam and John vows being said. So welcome to all the new members. Thank you, JC and Dakota, for all the new members and all that stuff. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys all in the next stream. Bye, guys.